Here, I'll show you how to paint rocks from scratch in Procreate using just 2 default Procreate brushes. It's going to be a series of videos devoted to painting nature. I remember my own struggles with them, so right now I want to clarify and simplify the painting process for you. No matter whether you are painting environments and landscape concept pieces or prefer to focus on rather cartoonish illustrations, creating believable rocks is a necessity for every artist. My name is Lilia and welcome to my channel. Let's start with a new canvas. I always try to use a big format. In my case, I have chosen 3500 by 5000 pixels canvas size. I prefer to use a dark color for my initial line art, so here I've picked some dark blue. The major trick here is in simplifying the initial form you see. So always need to analyze and break down your complicated shape of a rock to basic cubes, spheres and pyramids. It will help you to build a believable 3D object on a 2D surface. I will be using flat brush and tamar brush. Both can be found in Procreate brush library under the painting section. And my eraser brush is also a simple flat brush. It is a perfect combo for creating sharp edges and adding simple sand-like textures. Use 100% opacity on both brushes as it helps you to deal with the form easier instead of fixing the values later. I have a video about best default Procreate brushes where you may find a set that will suit your artistic style most. In this video we will be working with this too. There are 2 possible approaches to drawing. First one is starting with the line art, using lasso tool to fill the form for simple silhouette check and further painting. Another one is a direct start with the big main shape created by lasso tool. I want to show you the first one as it seems to me a little bit more beginner friendly. When you are working on an interesting composition, try this hack. Use 3 objects in 3 different sizes. If you are drawing rocks, try a big one, medium and a small one. And don't forget to draw them in grass, sand, dirt or any other surface they are lying on. The result will be more visually interesting and realistic due to additional context for your rocks. If you are completely stuck with an initial form, try to do a little research and Google some references, so you will have something to base your drawing on. I start working with the big shapes. Basic shadows, no details. First steps in rendering a 3D form. Here I've chosen main color palette. The light is going to be rather dim and general palette lean to the cold side of the wheel. Use lasso tool or a brush of a bigger size to define the darkest areas. Think about the source of light on your scene. Where is it and what temperature does it have? If you want to dive into color theory deeper, I strongly suggest a book of James Gurney, Color and Light. I have a video about it on my channel. Warm and cold parts of the color wheel. How to use it for realistic painting. All this information can be easily found in this book. Next step is adding main colors. I use some additional colors here such as brown and orange, or on a later stage of painting. It enriches your palette and may create interesting accents. Here I start to work on forms and slowly adding details. Cracks, spots, mossy areas, grass, little flowers, small pebbles, sticks, etc. Sometimes I slightly change the initial shapes as it creates a better general form. When you start adding details and additional colors, especially if you don't use references, some changes may be wrong, so to save the time, add them on additional layer or use a clipping mask. When you are happy with the result, you can always merge the layers down. Few words about layer usage. Don't create a lot of layers as it creates mess and further confusion. Also, it increases the size of your working document. I remember I was doing it a lot. Right now, I limit myself only to necessary ones. Here I have line, main colors and final painting. Additionally, I create some layers for details, but I merge them later during work when I'm happy with the result. There is one more thing I want to mention. Open your canvas in additional reference window. Procreate allows to do it quite easily. In Photoshop, you may use a navigator window. It will show you the image you are currently working on, and it helps to control the bigger picture. You will see exactly what you are working on. If your drawing looks good in this small window, you are doing everything right. Another useful window is a color wheel. In Photoshop, I use a colorless extension for the same purposes. When you start to render, there is another trap you can fall into. You may get lost in the details and forget about the initial values. So here is a simple trick for self-checking. Create a new layer above the one you want to check. Fill it with neutral gray color and put blending mode on the layer 2 color. Here you go. Now you may check the values and fix the mistakes. In the end, I add some dirt or dry earth on the grass and draw simple white dots to imitate flowers. This image is not completely realistic and maybe even slightly cartoonish, but it makes a believable picture of a rock in the forest on a dim day. For more realistic appearance, I strongly suggest to gain photo references and study them properly before working. I hope this video was helpful for you. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this one, hug and subscribe button, and see you in my next one. Cheers!